All right, let's talk about something that feels, well, you know that hamster wheel in your brain, the one we all get stuck on? We can absolutely learn how to get off of it. This is our explainer on the surprisingly powerful addiction to negative thinking.
Does this sound familiar? That little internal monologue that just starts spinning? Why does this always happen to me? It feels so personal, so unfair, like you've been cast as the lead in some cosmic drama you never auditioned for.
And then, boom, it jumps straight to the future, imagining the absolute worst-case scenario. What if I lose my job? I'll be out on the street. Your mind basically directs this entire horror movie from just one little worry. And suddenly, it feels completely real.
Or maybe it yanks you into the past, replaying some old hurt over and over and over. I can't forget what they did. I just can't let it go. It's like a movie you've seen 100 times, but you just keep hitting play, getting just as angry, just as hurt every single time.
So, here's the big question. If this feels so bad, why is it so ridiculously hard to stop? Why are these thoughts so sticky, so addictive? Well, there's a powerful reason, and it's probably not what you're thinking. To really get this, we have to look at a part of our mind that secretly gets a kick out of all this drama. Yeah, let's talk about the ego, and why for the ego, negativity is basically a 5-star meal.
Now, when we say ego here, we don't just mean being arrogant. In this context, it's a specific part of your mind that builds its sense of self, its whole identity, from problems. It literally feeds on conflict, it loves having a grievance, it thrives on drama. And this right here shows you exactly why. When things are calm and peaceful, the ego feels small, kind of insignificant. There's nothing for it to do. But in a state like anger, oh, suddenly it feels inflated. It feels powerful. That's how it gets stronger.
Eckhart Tolle, the source for this explainer, puts it perfectly. He says an insignificant person can suddenly start shouting at, say, a waiter, and for that one moment, their ego just balloons. It gets this quick jolt of false power, this feeling of, I am somebody, I am powerful, and that's the payoff it's chasing.
Okay, so the ego gets its temporary boost. But where did this whole pattern even come from? Well, the roots go way, way back to a fundamental lie we learned as kids. The belief that being unhappy is actually a pretty useful strategy.
Think about how this works. As a little kid, you want a toy. Your parents says no. So what do? You create a state of intense unhappiness, crying, screaming, a full-on tantrum. And what happens next? A lot of the time, just to make the noise stop, they give in. You get the toy.
And in that moment, a massive lesson gets lodged deep in your unconscious mind. Hey, unhappiness works. If I am miserable enough, loud enough, and unhappy enough, I can literally change my reality and get what I want. But here's the thing, that strategy totally stops working when you're an adult. Being miserable about your job doesn't magically fix it, but that old program is still running in the background. So we keep doing it, unconsciously hoping that if we just feel bad enough, the universe will finally give us what we're asking for.
Okay, so we've got an ego that loves drama and an old childhood program telling us unhappiness is the answer. How in the world do we get out of this loop? Well, the key isn't to fight your thoughts. It's not about forcing yourself to be positive. It's something much more subtle and way more powerful.
It's this one word, awareness. That's it. This is the entire game changer. It's not another thought, not another belief, just the simple act of being aware.
So what is awareness really? It's just the ability to step back and become a neutral witness to your own mind. You're stepping back from the movie of your thoughts and just watching it play out, realizing you aren't the character on screen, you're the one in the audience, watching.
And here it is, maybe the most crucial point of this whole explainer. The moment you become aware of that negative thought stream, you are no longer completely trapped in it. Awareness creates a little bit of space, and in that space, for the very first time, a real choice becomes possible.
So let's bring this all home. How do we actually use awareness to break the cycle in the moment? It's all about making a fundamental shift in your identity, from being the actor lost in the drama to becoming the audience that's watching it. This comparison says it all. Without awareness, you believe you are the thought, you are the anger, you are completely identified with it. But with awareness, you can take a step back and just see the thought or notice the anger rising. In that tiny moment of seeing, you create a separation, and you're not completely addicted anymore.
When you start to practice this, you begin to recognize some pretty profound things. You start to see how pointless the endless worrying really is. You can actually feel that part of you, the ego, that gets a little buzz from the drama. You can feel the pull of that old familiar habit, and most importantly, you start to realize this whole negative thought stream, that's not who you truly are. It's just a conditioned pattern playing out.
So, I'll leave you with this question. The next time that familiar wave of negativity starts to rise, the worry, the anger, the grievance, you now know you have a choice. You can be the actor, lost in the role, completely consumed by the drama. Or you can be the audience, aware and watching, knowing it's just a show. The choice is yours.